Hi, everybody. Welcome to week 3 of remote learning. This is Professor Hankinson, and this is your weekly video overview of what we're going to be doing this week in class. And so this week in class is a relatively short chapter. It is chapter 9, and it deals with the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. And so one thing I want you to keep in mind about the right to bear arms is, remember, it's bear, not bear. So you have a right to keep and bear arms. Can you see that? Not the right to wear a tank top. See, bear arms. But maybe you support the right to arm bears? Oh, and see, there's Paddington. Not that bear. I don't think he would like a gun. So anyways, I just remind you of that. You'll see that again in your voiceover PowerPoints. But I just want to remind you of that because I swear to God, every time I get essays on the right to bear arms, many students write B-A-R-E, and I always draw a picture of tank tops, although that's kind of hard to do with the comment section on our Canvas grading tool. So anyways, obviously I'm going a little bonkers here and stay safer at home. But anyways, so this is a kind of I think a lot of people were looking forward to doing the Second Amendment. So this is a good week if you were looking forward to that for whatever reason. And like I said, chapter 9 is a really relatively short chapter. There aren't a lot of cases on the right to bear arms. And so it should be a pretty quick read. One thing that we'll be talking about, you have what's due this week is you don't really have a lot due this week. There's just discussion 3, online discussion 3 is due. I will be posting the prompts to those maybe this evening, if not at the latest earlier tomorrow morning, but I'll try to get them done tonight. And so it's an online discussion about the right to bear arms, and I'm going to try to make it a little bit more discussion-y, the questions kind of more values-based, and give you an opportunity to sort of debate a little bit more. I think the discussion from last week might have not given you guys enough opportunity for discussion. Those, and also the prompts are a little bit too long, but everybody did a good job on those. I'll be grading those soon, but I'm going to try to make this week's post a little bit more interactive in terms of prompting discussion between y'all. And so that's the only thing that you have due this week. There's not a case brief due. There is not a quiz this week. And so I want to encourage you to kind of work ahead. That this chapter is relatively short, but the next chapter is not. And so the next chapter is another provocative chapter on the right to privacy. And that's chapter 10. And the right to privacy includes basically the right to privacy is the right that you have to control your body, that your body is a private place, and that's a private, the decisions you make about your body are private. And so the right to privacy covers things such as the right to use contraceptives, the right to have an abortion, the right to engage in consenting sex as an adult, and also the right that then when it comes to end of life issues. And so that's a much longer chapter with many more cases. So I want to encourage you that even though you don't have things that are due for chapter 10 this week, I want to encourage you to work ahead because it's a relatively long chapter. And since I will also begin to post not just the voiceover PowerPoints for the right to bear arms, but also I'll begin posting the voiceover PowerPoints for the right to privacy as well, so that you can work ahead if you want. Keep in mind that our second test is April 29th, and so just keeping that in your vision, okay? And so that's what we are doing this week. The chapter is interesting. The Second Amendment is a unique amendment because it's unclear what it means. There's weird uses of commas in the Second Amendment, and so it's open for interpretation. And so what you're going to find is that some people think that one clause of the Second Amendment, known as the Militia Clause, is the clause that sort of derives the meaning of the Second Amendment. And in other words, that if the militia clause basically means that the right to bear arms is not an individual right, but it's a right for states to collectively arm themselves in terms of a militia. But then the other half of the Second Amendment is the right to bear arms clause. And that clause has been used, as some people say, that is the clause that basically drives the meaning of the Second Amendment, and that the Second Amendment is an individual right to bear arms, not a collective states' rights ability to raise a militia. And so it's provocative and it's timely, and so I think that you will enjoy reading the chapter. So that's it from me today. I hope everybody had a restful holiday weekend if you celebrate, or just a restful weekend if you, just enjoying the spring weather, although it's not very springy today. I did grade your most dangerous branch papers. So all of those are posted. Those grades are posted on the on Gradebook, and please read the comments. Most people did real well on the paper. They were a pleasure to read. And as you know, I just sometimes make comments on your work just to get you, not to like, hey, you did something wrong, but just like, hey, here's something to think about. So take a look at the texts the comments I made in text on Gradebook. All right, that's it for this week. And look for those discussion prompts for online discussion 3. Like I said, I will get them done either tonight or early tomorrow morning. Also, that, as you know, there was an election last week, and results from the Wisconsin election are starting to be announced. And so you can go to the Journal Sentinel or other websites to begin seeing the returns and the results of that election. In particular, there was it is the presidential primary. I think Joe Biden was already declared the victor for the Democratic presidential primary. But the race that everybody is sort of interested in is the race for the state Supreme Court. So keep your eyes open to that, and check out the news and see what unfolds. Okay, great. Nice talking to you, and good luck this week.